Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do some ink blending while creating a really simple love themed card. Now for today's card I'm using the Love You More stem set for my favorite things in combination with my favorite stencil, the Watercolor Wash Freeform Stencil. Now so far I haven't used the Love You More stamp set, and that's just a shame. It was released previously, it was one of the sets in one of the kits from my favorite things, and once I got my hands on it, well, once I could get my hands on it actually, I just had to buy it. I love the sentiments in it, I love the different scripts in it, I love the combination of scripts on each of the sentiments that are inside of this stamp set. So that's why I wanted to have it. It's a bit playful, but at the same time it's neat and I just love it. Now, first I'm doing the blending because I will do some white heat embossing later on. And for this background, well, I just thought to use a color combination that is not necessarily linked to a love themed card. Why? Because, well, I am giving this always to my boyfriend, well, my fiance, and I'm always making those pink and reddish cards, and I think it's perfect. I think it's the perfect excuse also to use some pinks and give a pink card to your loved ones. But for example, my fiance really loves greens, and so I started with this idea of the Evergreen Bough and Pritt Pistachio, which is in my opinion a really great combination. It's a darker one with a lighter one. They blend really easy, and so on. Now, once I add this, I thought, well, let's add just a bit of forest moss. Why? Just to give it a bit of contrast. And then I saw this incredible light green turning up, and I think it's because the other inks are underneath. I don't know about it, but well, forest moss is quite dark. And then I had this edge, and then I thought, well, I will just work my way back with the others as I started originally. Now this gave me a completely different greenish bluish look that I never used before, but I'm really glad that I tried it out because I think it's a stunning combination that I definitely will use in the future as well. So I just worked my way, and as you can see, this turned out way darker than my initial first layer, but I don't mind about that. And especially not because I'm going to white heat emboss the sentiment, and the darker your background, the more it will jump off that background when you white heat emboss. So as you also can see, I am just using the same blending brush all over. I don't mind that there is some of the other inks because I am doing a blend, and it can only help, I think, when you already have a bit of that ink to have that mid-tone in between and help you with the blending towards that lighter color. Now once I was happy with the blend, I removed the mask. If you want to, you can add some shimmer here, you can add some white splatters if you want to, but I just thought keep it simple. The sentiment will be the focal point, and this incredible stencil already made a gorgeous background for this card. Now as you saw me just doing some really extensive prepping of this panel with my anti-static powder tool, I'm now going to get my Versamark clear embossing ink on top of this stencil or stencil background. Now, even if I have a good impression the first time, I do at least 2 times this. Why? Just to be sure. I don't want to ruin the panel that we already had. And then I'm just adding my white embossing powder. This is the white superfine detail from Ranger, which is perfect for the script. And once I removed all the excess, I'm going to heat emboss this. So for me personally, depending on where the extra embossing powder is, I use a paintbrush if it's in small areas in between the letters. I often use a craft knife to not ruin the letters themselves. And you can also tap on the back, on the front, anything that can help. After heat embossing my sentiments, I buffed off the excess anti-static powder just with a paper towel. And then I am going to finish this panel off still. As you know, these are my favorite embellishments, the heart sprinkles. And for today's card, since I heat embossed the sentiment, I took out those white hearts, and as you can see, those are definitely the colors that I use most often. So I took some out, well, a lot compared to how many I'm only using. And then I just laid them out on top of my ink blended background. Now, I didn't want to overdo it because I really love the way that this sentiment is shaped and formed, and I just wanted to emphasize it a bit more. So I only ended up using 3 hearts. But you can add more. As you can see, there is lots of space extra to add more if you want to. So once I was sure about placement, I added them using some liquid glue, and then I adhered this panel on top of a card base. And then this card is completely finished. I know it's a bit of an atypical love theme card since the color is like this, but I know that my fiance will prefer this over the pink and red cards. Don't you worry, I'm not going to make this exception every time for him. Not at all. I actually think that it's a great excuse to have Valentine and all those love cards in reds and pinks if I can. So that being said, I truly enjoyed making this card, and I hope that you enjoyed the process as well. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Just leave something down in the comments and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate it. I want to wish you a fantastic day, and I'll be back soon. Bye!